Hello, and welcome to our fourth conversation of our Behind the Screen series. During this event, please feel free to use the chat box to share reactions, comments, or any questions you may have for our guest speaker. Also, please don't hesitate to contact our customer support team at info@zoomcatchers.us if you run into any troubles during the event. Now, our founder and moderator for today, Garland Thompson, will introduce our amazing guest.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world as you watch this, whether you're watching it live right here as we stream onto YouTube, or whether you're watching a replay of this, wherever you are, if you're watching on your cell phone, your smartphone in a small village in Gambia, or if you're sitting in a cafe in Paris, or if you're in New York or Baltimore, or wherever you may be. Welcome. My name is Garland Thompson, and I'd like to welcome you to the latest episode of Behind the Screen, a cool conversation with cool people. That's what we like to do here. This is powered by Zoomcatchers, and Zoomcatchers is a virtual event company that I founded last year, and we do Zoom meetings. We help people do Zoom meetings better. We help people do virtual events better. We manage them. We help people learn how to use the software and the apps and what have you, kind of all around virtual event kind of companies. So this is powered by Zoomcatchers. I'm very glad to be here. This is our fourth our fourth installment of Behind the Screen. We've had three very fun conversations so far, and we've got a couple more coming up. Coming up will be Jimmy Santiago Baca, award-winning poet, author, and filmmaker. Those of you may know him from the film Blood In, Blood Out. He was executive producer and also starred in it, and it's become quite the cult classic over the last 25, 30 years. Pretty serious. Anyway, but that's coming. Tonight, we are very pleased to do our very first product launch with photographer, designer, and entrepreneur Kathleen Cunningham. Now, this is very exciting for us. It's the first time we're doing this kind of thing, a product launch, but Kathleen is a fellow entrepreneur and business person, and she's got a whole line of fabrics and things that we're going to talk about. So before we get to that, let me introduce you to Kathleen. We've got a little thing here for you, so enjoy this.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Cunningham, photographer and surface pattern designer. I'm out here in my neighborhood garden to show you that you don't have to go too far for inspiration in creating your artwork. This is springtime in Oakland, and there are lots of beautiful colors and shapes that inspire the work that I've been doing. So it doesn't even have to be a sunny day. Sometimes having raindrops on plants can make for interesting photos. And the pattern for this scarf was generated from a photo of these flowers in my neighbor Susan's garden. This is my dog, Hunter. He likes to hang out at the studio while I'm working.
Kathleen, please join us. Kathleen Cunningham, everyone.
Welcome to the studio.
Hello there. There you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Such a pleasure to see you. Kathleen, for those of you who are out there tuning in, Kathleen is a photographer. She is into or does photography. So I could say, yeah, she is a photographer. She is a designer, an entrepreneur, and absolutely much, much more. And you can tell she's got a really hip studio back there behind her with some of her products, her fabrics. And one of the things we're going to be talking about is surface pattern design. She'll explain to us better than I can what that is. And we're going to find that out. But Kathleen, please tell us a little bit more about yourself right now.
Well, thank you for having me in the conversation. It's pretty exciting. As I said in the video, and as Garland said, I'm a photographer and also surface pattern designer. And a lot of what surface pattern design is artwork that's used to decorate surfaces. So pretty much many things that you have in your life have been designed by someone. I've been using photography with from my iPad with a kaleidoscope app to create these amazing patterns. I got an iPad a few years ago and just used the kaleidoscope app that was on it and started taking these amazing pictures. And I was like, what is this that I have here? Is it a photo? Is it a pattern? And over the next few years, I've been working on that, trying to figure out what this could be. And in 2020, I decided to really do this in earnest. Let's see. So I was going to say surface patterns kind of can be on anything. So I've been creating patterns that could be for postcards, little stickers that you can put on to mailing packages. Of course, everybody has their masks.
Very nice. That's and it is, it is very true. You're absolutely right. Every surface that we see, no matter what it is, from automobiles to fabrics. I mean, if you're talking fabrics, we're talking about the textile industry, so that's huge.
Mhm.
Automobiles, machines, everything, and it all came out of somebody's mind. Somebody had to dream it up. Now, tell us a little bit. You mentioned, now, first of all, what I know is that you guys, you and your husband, or your husband, won this iPad somehow. Right, in a competition, or somehow won this iPad, right?
He won the iPad as it was an iPad mini, and it was a door prize.
Uh-huh.
And I
And
was,
there was
I was
so
lucky enough that he gave it to me. He's like, "Here, you play with this." I'm like, okay.
so and the Kaleidoscope app, and you're gonna have to tell us about that. Give us a description about that in a second. But this app called Kaleidoscope just happened to be on the iPad.
Yeah, it's part of the standard photo booth app.
Oh,
And, again, I was playing around with what came with it. And there are a lot of Kaleidoscope apps out on the market, but I really like what the algorithm for the standard one does in creating shapes and color and detail.
Tell us a little bit about the app and how it works for you. And we'll see a video, I know, but let's hear from you.
I was going to say, we can go to the video.
We can.
I basically, I'm a photographer. So a lot of surface pattern designers are illustrators or painters. They use photos as resources to inspire their compositions.
Mhm.
I am taking pictures of the world around me, and I've been concentrating a lot on flowers, florals, just because of the beauty of the color and the shapes. But this app transforms the shapes. It rotates what is in the viewfinder into these hexagons, and then they repeat. So it sort of reinterprets nature.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
reimagining nature through this electronic kaleidoscopic lens. That is very interesting. And the work, I mean, the patterns you've been able to produce are really incredible. They're beautiful.
Well, what interested me at the very beginning was it was something that I couldn't dream up. I don't illustrate. I don't draw. I take pictures. And when I saw these, I was like, wow, this is so much more than I ever anticipated.
That must have been exciting, that kind of process of discovery for you.
Oh, very exciting. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what I had. And I put up a show. I printed these up big, small, on some fabric. And I put up a show at a co-working space in Oakland. And mostly my friends and family showed up. But it allowed me to have a conversation like, what do you guys see? What is this that I'm doing? Because it was so exciting. I couldn't define it right off the bat. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry. No, please finish.
No, it was so exciting to have them participate in the development of this. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's just because you're what you're saying has sparked my imagination, and I'm just thinking what a great opportunity for you for market research there, to have conversations with folks and to ask them the question you just mentioned.
Exactly. And they were so generous to show up and to really take me seriously. And, as you can tell, I'm excited about this. And I was able to say, I have no idea what this is. What do you see? What do you see? And we talked it through. And that's kind of what inspired me last year to take it further. I really wanted to make this into something. I had explored the photography aspect of it and had worked with another person in my community, John Zaks, who's a photographer and a printer.
Mhm.
And I took the photos to John. I'm like, John, I want to make these patterns. I want to do this and that. And he just looked at me and said, no, that's not going to work. But do you see the repeat pattern in here? It's a hexagon. And I'd been staring at these photos and hadn't even seen that. And so sometimes, even especially being a visual person, you expect to be able to sort of see it all, take it in.
Sure, sure. Sometimes, you know, though, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
That's exactly what happened. And when he showed me the hexagon, I was like, yes, this is it.
The key, right? It was like that Indiana Jones movie moment where they find the key and they put it in and everything, the whole temple opens up and what happens. That's great. What an exciting moment of discovery for you.
Yeah, I've had a few
Yeah.
of those on this journey.
It sounds like it's been if nothing else, fun,
Totally fun.
right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And
I mean, getting yourself out, and first of all, because you have to get out in nature. First of all, we're going to see
yeah,
it just a minute when we look at this video. So you have to get out. So get you out of the house, even though you're dealing with an electronic device, you still get
right.
out of the house. You're in nature because that's where you're taking your inspiration from, right?
And photographers look up, look down, look to the right, look to the left. So we're always trying to compose within the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And adding this kaleidoscope just adds another level of intrigue and interest.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what when you first used the app Kaleidoscope, was it immediately you were using it on nature, on flowers, on plants, or was it just kind of you randomly looking at all sorts of stuff and you just happened to stumble on it?
No, so we're in Oakland, and I was out one Sunday morning at a little coffee shop in San Leandro, just the next town over, and parked the car and saw one of the neighbors had these beautiful hydrangeas, purples and pinks. Hydrangeas are pretty dramatic anyway, and I wanted to photograph them. And turned on the kaleidoscope to see what would happen. And that was my first picture. I remember it very well. And it was a oh wow moment.
Wow, I can just imagine.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment here to invite anybody out there in the interwebs world. I would say, anybody watching on YouTube right now, to if you want to join us in the chat room, if you would like to say something. Let's see. Oh, there's a few folks. There looks like a few folks in here. It looks like Kent Alexander is here. Hi, Kent. Glad you're watching. Kent says our son Robert shot the beginning video. Excellent work, Robert.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know if Robert's there or not, but if he is, excellent work. If he's not, tell him we said so.
That's my support.
Yes, great. No, it's very, very nice work. Savvy Slays gives us a little he, and then we've got a Mio. I don't know how to pronounce this. Miaot. And you're getting complimented on your background. Kathleen's background is so carefully arranged. Love it. Love it. It is, right? She did. We talked about that, and she did a fantastic job. She said, "Don't wait. I got it. Don't worry about this. I got it." And you did. You did do a great job. Well, please feel free to put yourself into the chat room, and we will do our best to. If you have any questions, we'll do our best to get to those before our hour is up here. And Ling, hi Ling. Hi, Ling. My apologies for butchering your name. You're very kind for sticking around still. All right, let's get back to Kathleen. Should we take a look at the video, or well, actually, wait a minute. We've got actually what I have on my list of things that we're supposed to look at. We actually have a list of things we're supposed to look at. Who could believe that? I know it doesn't seem like it, but and I believe we're supposed to be looking at your slide deck. Do you want to take a look at your slide deck next, or
Sure.
do you do the video? Okay, let's do the slide.
Well, the video shows. How about the video first? Just because it shows. It's
Okay.
It's really hard to describe how this works, and so maybe showing it will give people an idea.
That's a great idea, because that is exactly what it does. Well, hold on to your hats, folks. We're going to have a little video right now, and then we'll come back and say hello to the chat room and keep off our cool conversation with a very cool person, Kathleen Cunningham.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Cunningham, photographer and surface pattern designer. I'm out here in my neighborhood garden to show you that you don't have to go far for inspiration in creating your artwork.
This is springtime in Oakland, and there are lots of beautiful colors and shapes that inspire the work that I've been doing.
You know what? I'm going to post that because we already saw that video. So let's go to the right video. How about this one?
There we go. So that's me taking pictures out in our neighborhood garden.
And you're using the Kaleidoscope app.
Right. And then I started to have to take the photo of the actual plant, because I didn't know what I needed it as a reference to remember which plant made which pattern.
Uh-huh. Of course, right. Yeah, I would imagine because there's so many different plants, and we have a lot of in the area. For those of you who don't know, Kathleen and I are actually neighbors. So we live on the same street, across the street from each other. So we have, I know on the street, we're blessed. We have a lot of beautiful flowers on our street. Neighbors with beautiful flowers, and we've got a
Yeah.
garden.
And
So I can imagine trying to keep organized with all that.
yeah, and that's definitely Oakland in springtime. Is an amazing place.
It sure is. For those of you who don't know, Oakland in the springtime is absolutely very, very beautiful. People don't know that, but it is. Let's see. Tell us a little bit. Let's see. What do we got next to talk about?
Well, a little bit about the whole idea about community building and
Yes.
trusting in the process. You alluded to earlier in my story that I was asking my friends and family, what do you think I got here? And that really propelled me forward. I've thanked them, but I'm not sure that they all understand just how helpful it is. And then last spring, I decided, like I said, I really want to make this work as something more, make it into a part of my business, my design business. And I really needed to establish a community in the surface pattern design arena. I didn't know anything about it. And I found this course called Immersion into Surface Pattern Design, taught by Bonnie Christine. And I liked her promo. I liked the lessons that I saw her teach. And she had this 8-week immersion course. And it was kind of a big expense and a big amount of time. And but they also had this community around the whole business of surface pattern design. So I pushed the button and said, yes, I'll take it. And we started the course 8 weeks in February. It started in February. The course lasted 8 weeks. And of course, in 2020, March of 2020, the entire world shut down.
Right.
And what was so fabulous was that we kept on going.
Mm.
And this course had like 400 or 500 people in it worldwide. And it was so grounding and inspiring to have this to do, to learn, and to have community around what I was trying to learn, especially during the scary time. So that was like a really another extension of the whole idea of community.
I imagine that would definitely be very, very helpful. And with everything shut down, did that really allow you to really delve deep into it, and especially with your community, with the other members?
Yeah, because like everybody else, it bought me time. I didn't have to take my son to school. We were going to the store once a week. We weren't going anyplace else. And I am a freelance graphic designer and was already working online. So I knew what kind of time I had for work. And then I was able to put a lot of time into following the lessons and developing a style.
That's how exciting is that? So it all kind of the timing just sort of worked out just right. I mean,
It's a kind of crazy thing to say, isn't it? That
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it though? I mean, it very scary time without a doubt, and certainly all due respect to everyone who's been
exactly.
touched so deeply by this, and all those folks who lost their lives. But it's also incredible because folks like yourself and others were able to also find great opportunity within that time.
It's one of
So
those big dichotomies of life.
yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like, I guess it's one of those things like, someone you may be mourning losing someone, but at the same time, a new birth is happening,
Right,
maybe
exactly.
either next door or maybe in your family or something. So the cycle goes on.
And
So,
it wasn't just my business, it
mhm,
was the businesses and the things that people were trying to do in the course.
mhm,
And then you and Kimberly, your partner and executive producer of Behind the Screen, you are starting Zoomcatchers. And Kimberly and I met out on the street going out to get the mail
mhm.
in the middle of the pandemic with our masks and everything. And we just decided to start talking. And we started Zooming, even though we lived right across the street to get from one another. Um, with no real agenda.
Mhm.
We just started talking and sharing what we were trying to do, how we were trying to start businesses, grow businesses, and inadvertently help to support one another. Out of one of our conversations came Behind the Screens. Thank you very much for having me again.
That's right. That's right. That is very true. That came out of one of your conversations, and I remember when she brought the idea to me. I thought it was a great idea, and so yes, thank you for helping to spark this whole thing. So, and that's of course why you had to be one of our guests on
Of
here.
course. Well, also out of the immersion course, we were part of the course was that we were put into accountability groups. You get 3 or 4 or 500 people. Um, that's a lot, and you don't always get to ask questions directly to somebody. So 6 of us were put into a group, mostly based on time zone, so that we could all meet at the same time. And after the 8-week course, we liked one another so much, and we got so much from one another, we decided to stay together.
Beautiful.
And I was telling Kimberly about that, and that I talked the group into putting together a magazine that talked about 6 women starting businesses in the middle of a pandemic, starting arts-based businesses in the middle of a pandemic, because I thought it was a good story. We're all at very different levels, and we transformed ourselves from an accountability group in a course to a peer-based mastermind. We're using one another to help build our businesses.
Mhm, mhm. That was wonderful, and keeping each other accountable and inspired, and bucking each other up. I'm sure
Yeah,
when things like, "Oh my God, this is what am I doing? Whoever thought this was a good idea?" Because we do have those thoughts sometimes.
exactly.
You're starting a business or something, or any kind of venture, and there are going to be some tough days, some tough times, and yeah, you get those thoughts like, "What in the hell were you thinking about?"
And we
But
got to know each other as people. So when we hit those little walls or big walls, um, the group would say, "We see you, Kath. You know what to do." Well, for example, I was like looking at all of the different things that you could do with patterns. Like, what do I start? How do I go? And one of my group said, "Kath, you like scarves. Start with scarves." I wear them all the time.
sure.
Um, and I was like, another one of those aha moments, like John telling me where the hexagon was. She just
Mhm,
said, start with scarves. And again, you have to start
mhm.
and
Somewhere.
somewhere.
You gotta start
And
somewhere.
that's
Uh,
one of the benefits of the peer group.
That's very true. That's excellent. Having a mastermind group like that. We're going to take a look at your magazine in just a moment, but before that, we've got some folks, some chats. Folks have been in the chat room and they've been saying things. Let's just want to acknowledge some folks in there. We've got Nina Lisowski says hi. Great work on the video, Robert. So Robert's getting some more. Robert's getting some love, some video love tonight. Let's see here. Who else do we have here? She said, oh, Nina says also, so if I like roses, could I request a custom pattern as a special gift? Asking for a friend. Oh, there's a thought. Would you take custom requests? Can you do that?
Yeah, totally. I worked as a freelance designer for years and years doing publication work. So I know how to deal with requests, custom requests.
All right. Well, see, there's your answer, Nina. So the answer is yes. So you can feel free to pass Kathleen's information on to you, and we'll make sure we announce that. We'll pass that on to your friend, and that sounds like a really cool thing to be doing. You're very welcome, Nina. And let's see, Savvy Slays. I love that name, Savvy Slays. Isn't that fun? I have close connections. I possibly could make that work, Nina. All right. So there you go. So they're making connections too. So all right. So let's take a look at your magazine, shall we, that you all created, which there it is right there. It's called Interwoven. You're holding a copy there, an actual physical copy that you can flip through and what have you. I'm waiting with bated breath for my copy, so I have to get my copy.
It's coming. I'll carry it across the street to you.
Right.
Or you can purchase it online.
Well, that I might do that, got to support my fellow entrepreneur, entrepreneurial spirits. So, but let's take a look at this because you can see it online. So I'm going to pull it up online here, and we're going to make this thing really as big as we can, and we're going to flip through it. So there is our cover there, 6 creatives on a visual path, Interwoven, spring 2021. And I love the cover. The cover actually looks like cloth, though it's not. It's paper, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a photo of cloth.
It's beautiful.
And the interwoven artwork was created by Wayna Donata, one of our members.
All right. So let's take a look, and you can click up here in the corner to flip in. And there we go. Wow, looking very, very good. This is beautiful.
So it started out as a little introduction to the 6 of us and to our work. And then moved on to the description of what our business is and what how our mastermind group got together. A little recap, kind of like of the story that I just told. And then, like you, a lot of people ask, what is surface pattern design? And we talked a little bit about what kind of markets we are looking to license our work or sell our work in. And then in the center, there are the 6 business spreads. So each one of them shows the work of the 6 members of the group. And we're all surface designers, but we all have very different personalities, very different directions for our businesses and our work. I'm a photographer. Many of them are illustrators. And I liked that these each had their very distinct personalities. It kind of shows the breadth of what surface pattern design can be.
I see. This is really, I love that, how you spotlight each one of the 6 members of the group.
Yeah, it was, again, it's also a little bit of a marketing tool for us to tell the good story and then to show the work.
Got it. Wow, that's and now here we have a section, infrequently asked questions, which is kind of different. Usually it's frequently asked questions, right? So how did that come about? What is this?
Oh, I was copy editing and I saw that actually in another publication and thought it was a little funny.
That is kind of funny. So let's see. One of them is, my dream project is to collaborate with a fashion designer to create a wild and pattern forward runway show. All right. And we're closing it off. I think this is towards the end here. One of the last page, gratitude. So you guys just
So this really just highlights that this isn't a solo endeavor, and so we wanted to thank our family and our friends and our teachers for getting us to this stage.
And here's the back cover of it. Tears of Joy is the name of the group.
Our group ended up calling themselves Tears of Joy, and it kind of scared our teacher when we told her about it because all she heard was tears. She was afraid we were crying, but they're Tears of Joy because we really counted on each other, and we always came through for one another.
Nice.
And laughed a lot.
And laughed a lot.
Yeah, that's important.
That is very important. Absolutely.
Yeah,
there you go. Let's bring you back. Yes, I was about to say, well, come back to us. Let's see here. So sorry, everyone. The screen, we've been having serious internet connection issues. I think the whole country is going through it right now because I was on some other calls, Zoom calls earlier today. We were having this problem. So our apologies for the frozen connection, but it looks like it has come back. So sorry about that. It froze on a blank. Well, let's see. Yeah, let me turn my camera off, and you can put that up to the camera there. We can at least look at that a little bit better. Since we
a little bit of our introduction.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want to also feature or show off the 6 businesses. So this is Elise Beck, my business.
Right. Okay.
Sarah DeLuca, Wayna Donata, Isabel Ontiveros.
Okay.
I'm cutting people off here. And Terry Robertson.
All right. So that's
and there's our little Tears of Joy. We had to feature our Zoom portraits because, you know, we were all Zooming in 2020.
Of course.
And then Tears of Joy, we had our own emoji.
There it is. We're going to put a link to that. We can put the link that you shared with us right into the chat room.
Yeah.
You don't mind if we share that with folks?
Yeah.
So we'll put that into the chat room on YouTube's because some folks, unfortunately, they could hear us. So, but it froze. The magazine froze. So unfortunately, but we'll put a link up so you guys can go check it out on yourself, the online version. It's very cool. So we'll get that link up in the next couple of minutes, hopefully before the show is over. But thank you very much everybody for dealing with us. You know, technology. Yes, Savvy Slave says it looks like a book, but better. You're right. It is. It is. It's very cool. There's some very cool stuff with it. And you guys are going to come up with are you guys going to do another issue of it as well?
We've been talking about it. We're trying to figure out the timing and what stories we would tell about, you know, our next phase.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you have to talk about where your businesses are now.
Exactly.
And where they're going. So this is great. Now let's see. Now we're gonna try this again with Shop Vita. All right.
Are you coming back or are you
I'm not gonna come back. I'm gonna see if I can make this work for everybody here. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see that? Okay.
I only see you. Well, I see your picture.
You know what? We're having some problems with that. We're having some problems displaying what website. Oh no, wait a second. It would help if I am on the right one. And you know what? There's so many things on my desktop. There it is. There it is. Okay, now you can go ahead and shut your camera down for a minute, Kathleen.
Okay.
Let folks see that, and I'll put this up. And
so one of the ways that we can, you know, as individuals start the business is by printing, in this case, it's fabric, from a print on demand site. The magazine that you saw was from a site called Blurb. They print on paper. But what Garland's showing you right now is my shop on the Vita website. And I upload my repeats that I make and then choose what kind of products that I would like the patterns on. And then I've been focusing on scarves. And it's a very cool site. I chose them because they are trying to turn the fabric industry on its ear. They ethically source the fabrics, and they do support their workers. These are printed all over the world, and they're on a variety of fabrics. So some cotton, some modal, some merino wool, some cashmere and silk, and they're really quite lovely. They're done very well, and that's kind of what part of my set here shows off the fabrics. Also, like being an individual, I could not get enough of these product shots and mock-ups done. I can do them, but Shop Vita shows the fabrics in a lot of different formats, and they even allow you to put them on models.
Mhm.
So you can see the scale, you can see the transparency, and you can get an idea of what it's going to look like when it comes to you.
Mhm. That's beautiful. That really helps out quite a bit.
It does, and they offer that as a regular service. And on the right, you can, so that's the repeat. That's the small file that creates the repeating pattern.
Mhm. So you basically just upload a small graphic file,
Mhm.
and then their system, their platform, their algorithms do the rest.
Exactly. And
Excellent.
then they tell you a little bit about creating lasting change and their literacy program. And then to the right, it not only tells you, the product information and the price, but it also tells you a little bit about where it's being manufactured.
That's great. So you get definitely some good solid information about what the company's about, what you're doing, and you get to know that you're purchasing a product that is actually helping people on the planet versus doing just the opposite.
Yeah, it's an extension of small business.
Hmm. That's very great and very nice, clean design. I mean, this looks like looks like a big department store, online web ordering platform. So this is very professional and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I
Right.
could say thank you, but I had nothing to do with that part. But as a small business owner who just really launched this in earnest
Mhm.
in last April,
Mhm.
it's a really nice platform for getting the work out there, offering
Mhm.
it to individuals, and again, testing to see how much interest there is in this kind of thing with low
And
overhead
how's
and
it
high end.
and how's it been going?
It really, I just launched a week and a half ago. I have 3 sales,
Uh-huh.
um, both people that
Excellent.
I know, but hey, it's something.
It's
And then
okay. It
yeah,
it always starts that way. Entrepreneurs always, it's always friends and family who buy the first products and give it, help to give them a push and what have you. Where would we be without family and friends to help us, start our crazy businesses, get these crazy ideas going? So that is excellent, excellent, excellent. This is good work. Kathleen, I'm just I'm almost speechless because every time I look at your fabric and your patterns and what have you, I get inspired. I see something different every time I look at them, and that have you experienced that yourself?
yeah. Well, the quality of the photos themselves has evolved since I started this, because I'm
Hmm.
seeing it in a different way, which is kind of how photo projects work.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I do see a little bit of something different every time, and I really enjoy. What I wanted to do was to be able to see the fabrics, to see the photos um, moving and up at a very large scale.
Hmm.
And I got to do that with these scarves.
Hmm.
Um, I got to do that with tea towels. Like, who would want to have this beautiful color in their kitchen, maybe? Um, and I've also started to order yards of fabric and then sewing these bags to see how they would look in as products. And that's been very fun. I haven't sewn in years. My grandmother was a seamstress who immigrated from Ireland in the 1920s. And that's how she made her, that was her business. And she taught me how to sew, but really all I can do is straight. But bags and tea towels, that I can do.
Well, it certainly sounds like you've got her entrepreneurial spirit. That's for sure. Without a doubt. Sounds like it's been in your family. So that's good. But here's a question that I have that I wanted to make sure I ask you. Where do you find inspiration?
It's by looking at the world. And I think, again, that's from the photography training. We all get very busy. We all get into a schedule. We go from here to there, and sometimes don't even remember how we got there, or, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We get into routines. Photography inspires you to look at the world around you, literally look up and look down to see how that can change your perspective. It sounds kind of philosophical as well, but nature inspires me. People's interpretation of the world through art, writing, music, theater, those things inspire me. Because we're all a lot the same and a little bit different, and that makes it very interesting.
That is very true. That sounds like that's a song lyric or something. I'm not sure what, but I've heard that. I've heard that sentiment expressed before, and it's a very apt sentiment. You're absolutely right about that. And I know one of the things that, again, as you pointed out earlier, you're going out and you're using nature and you're photographing flowers and turning them into patterns. Tell us a little bit about turning them, actually getting the fabric process, getting the fabric made, going from, so you've got the Shop Vita set up, so you've got the retail part of it set up, that's all good. You've got the Kaleidoscope app, so you've got the design process in place and what have you, but how, once you've taken the photograph and you've come up with the pattern that you like, or patterns, how does it go from being a photograph, a JPEG or something on your iPad, to actually being fabric in your or somebody else's hands?
Well, from my iPad, it goes into Photoshop. And a few years ago, when I was working with John, we were outlining the hexagons in Photoshop and then duplicating them and creating files, rectangles. Now Photoshop has upgraded their software, of course, and they have a couple of different features that I use. One is called define pattern. And so instead of using the hexagons, I know where the repeat pattern is now as I'm photographing. I've identified that. And so I go into Photoshop and isolate it, and then use the, what is it called? New fill layer pattern. And that will fill any size file that you have, or any size workspace that you have with the pattern, if you've done it correctly, and you can scale it up and down, and you can send it on to whatever use you have. So sometimes I send small files to the people who make my postcards, but for the Shop Vita or the spoonflower.com, I send them the repeat itself, that small one rectangle that is used to create the whole pattern. And the algorithm basically stacks them together. And the way that they're made which is not a function of Photoshop, actually, I should say. You can make a repeat pattern in Illustrator. You can make a repeat pattern on a piece of paper with a pen or a pencil. It's a pretty standard technique. You can Google it or look it up on YouTube, but the software Photoshop helps create it. And then I send that, I upload it. I upload a JPEG to the different sites. I double check that the repeat is actually doing what it's supposed to do. And then I press order. So that, so if you buy a photo or if you buy a scarf, you just see the scarves themselves.
Okay,
They're already
so
styled.
gotcha. So Shavita handles the manufacturing of the
Right.
actual fabric, the cloth itself. So
Right.
wow, so that really is an all-inclusive, like a turnkey solution.
It is.
That is, and economically, does it work out as well for you?
Well, instead of selling it at like a wholesale price or instead of me selling it at a wholesale or retail price, I then get a commission from Shopvita, also from Spoonflower. They're doing a great deal of the work for me, so I'm paying for that basically. But
Sure.
again, it's a great way to start. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. For those of you out there listening, Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day. Hello, Mother's Day. Mom always, scarves are always great for mom. And you know what I love too? I saw when we were looking at the Shavita site, I loved how the model, it was big enough so that it wasn't just, a neck scarf, but it could
Right.
actually be like a wrap, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Well, remember that, folks. Mother's Day is coming up, so you can go to Shop Vita and you can pick up some cool stuff for her, for the mothers in your life. Remember, if there are any questions, throw it in the chat room, and we'll do our best to answer them before we end our little time here.
Well, and Shop Vita, it takes about 20 days to once you order to have the order fulfilled. So that might not make Mother's Day, but if you do place an order, contact me. Garland will supply the information, and I will design a nice little card for you to give to your mom to tell her that the scarf or whatever it is you've ordered is coming.
That's great to sort of tide her over until the gift comes in. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Builds up the anticipation.
Exactly. And also the link in the information that you'll be giving out is directly to my store. That's how I get a commission. But included with the link will be a sort of secret code that'll allow you to get 15% off.
Okay. So we'll make sure. I think we've already posted a link to Shavita, but we'll make sure we post the link that has this discount here.
Great.
You want to take advantage of that, people. Take advantage of that. Support the entrepreneur. Support the business. This is beautiful things. And again, you also have postcards that you made as well, right? So
right. And so I'm working on the regular website. And that's coming soon. It all takes time, though.
It does. I love this. Savvy Slave says about the card, a little IOU. Right? A little IOU card. I like that.
Exactly.
Here, Mom, I owe you. You're going to get it. Don't worry, Mom, you're going to get it. That's beautiful. Now, if you would talk a little bit about the fabric's quality, the quality of the fabric. Tell us a little bit about that.
The one that I'm wearing is a modal, which is a human-made fabric as opposed to natural fabric. It takes the ink really well, nice, bright, vibrant. The consistency of the sizes of the scarf is really good. They're printed just on one side, but they're translucent, so they wrap very nicely. And they have what's called a little eyelash finish. So I think that they're very well done. The one I'm wearing is a small cotton square and can be used as a neck wrap or a head wrap, or for lots of other different uses.
I love the versatility of them. It's really wonderful, and It's neat the way you have them displayed in the background there, because it shows you kind of some of the different things you can do with them.
Yeah, this is my garden. I've brought the color into my studio this way.
That's nice. And the flowers, of course, I've seen some of the flowers that you used for some of your patterns, and they are amazing. But your patterns, your pattern designs, I mean, the one you're wearing around your neck is really, really, it's just such a gorgeous purple.
And that's from Susan's front yard.
Right out there, people walking, driving past it every day. It's
And so, speaking of gift giving, this is one of the cotton squares. It's actually this very same pattern, only smaller and on a different fabric. But you can also use them to wrap gifts, to wrap a box or something. This is the Japanese art of furoshiki. So I wanted to say thank you and Kimberly so very much for having me today. And I wanted to send you a little bit of a gift.
Oh my God, look at this. Thank you so very much. Look at it. Oh my God, look. I love this. I love this. Oh my God. I have a gift. Can't wait till, I'm not going to open it up here. I'm going to open it up off camera, but I love this. Thank you so much. Oh, this is so cool. You're so sweet. Really, it's wonderful, talking to you. It's wonderful having you as a neighbor. We see you out there all the time, walking your dog, walking Hunter, who is a fabulous dog. Love Hunter. Hunter's very, very sweet, friendly dog. And it's just great to see you out there. It's nice, it's also nice to get to know your neighbors.
Agree. And so many of the neighbors have been super supportive with me out there with my little iPad. What are you doing? So,
and they've seen you as they've been walking by with their dogs and what have you.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, no, it's really good stuff what you're doing. It is definitely good stuff what you're doing. We have one more thing to look at before we end up, and I think that was our slide deck, which I think we missed. I missed that. So you want to take a look at the slide deck real quick? Let's show it to the folks. Let the folks see the slide deck here.
You want to see a few more patterns.
So why don't you talk us through it?
This is from our neighborhood garden called Peace Park. This is from a magnolia tree, and I just wanted to show how the variety, this is also the magnolia, of patterns that you can get from one shoot. This is my neighbor Alicia's cactus, and you get these 3 different colors, and a little bit of showing how the patterns can get applied to the scarves. The colors are vibrant. This is nature's colors, nature's shapes, but reimagined in a repeat pattern.
Beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful work. I personally, you're the very first. It's funny because clearly, we're surrounded by them, but I've never met a surface pattern designer before. So this is really fun talking to you and talking to someone who does this and someone who's really making a go of it with a business too. So, but if you think about it, again, the textile industry, if you're talking about just fabric alone, fabric and paper, the textile, gift wrapping paper, I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Exactly.
So we're surrounded.
There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of beautiful work out there.
Absolutely. Now we'll need to get that link from you so we can post it afterwards. We'll probably post it after the broadcast is done. We'll post it in our chat room here, in our YouTube chat room, so folks can be able to go over there and order some beautiful scarves and some wraps and get that discount and get those Mother's Day presents going. Let's see, I'm just gonna take a look at my notes. I think we pretty much covered everything that we talked about, everything that we wanted to cover. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Goodness, thanks everybody for hanging in there through this. This is my very, very first interview ever. So really? I'm really very grateful to both of you for having me on. And again, thanks to my peer group. They've encouraged me to go for this, and my lovely husband and wonderful son. and the
Mhm.
family and friends who have really supported me. So
That's excellent. Well, it is a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to be your very first interviewer and to be the
yeah,
very first program that you'll be interviewed on. I'm sure this is definitely not the last because you're gonna have to get out there and promote the biz. So, and you want to promote Shop Video. We definitely want to Shop Vita. We definitely want to promote that because that is a very worthwhile business that's helping a lot of entrepreneurs just like yourself out there.
yeah. And actually, if you want to go to my Instagram is K_C_design and the number 08.
Okay.
There's links to Shop Vita in my bio there too.
Okay, so K_C_, what's the rest of it?
Design, and
Design.
then the numbers 08.
08. Okay, so K_C_design 808?
08.
08.
Yeah.
08. All right, there you go. So we'll post that in the we'll post that. There it is. It just got posted into the chat. Thank you, Kimberly.
Hey.
Kimberly is so good. Kimberly is our executive producer. Big shout out to Kimberly Gunn, and also big shout out to our Zoomcatchers staff. We've got a wonderful bunch of folks. We got Shayla handling marketing. We got Natalie doing wonders, making our website look so incredible. We got Julie helping us out with live events. She's been in there manning the chat room too. And we got Kimberly, who's our executive managing director and keeping everybody in line, what have you, making this stuff happen. So thank you to all of our staff here at Zoomcatchers. This has been a really fun conversation. I really enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed learning about surface design. It was funny because I kept getting so inspired. I wanted to jump in. I was like, no, oh, wait, hold on. We gotta let people talk. Hold on. But it's kind of so inspiring. You get excited and you just want to jump in, you know what I mean? With the
That's
thought that
awesome.
comes. So I apologize for a little bit. I don't know, fanboy, I guess you might say.
Oh, the first fanboy. No, maybe third. Okay.
Third, I would say third. I would say probably your husband and your son.
Yeah, I got
They're the original fanboys. I hope. Are they watching? By the way, are they watching this? Are they tuned in? They are. Hey, hubby. Hey, husband. And hey, son. I don't know you guys' names. I know you. I met you guys. Have I met your son? I'm not sure. I think I have met your son, but I'm not sure. I'm terrible with names, especially in the moment right now. So my apologies, fellas. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. I think that's it. Any final words? More words of wisdom you want to give us? Any shout outs to the ladies in your group? Anything at all you want to say to the world before we head on out of here?
Thanks, and stay creative.
There it is. You heard it here, folks. Thanks and stay creative, because that is what it's all about. Creativity is what's going to get us out of whatever holes we find ourselves in. And trust me, we find ourselves in holes a lot. If you're anything like me in my life, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of potholes in the road, but it's creativity that's going to get us out of it each and every time. So always keep the creative fires going. That's why we do this here. This has been Behind the Screen, cool conversations with cool people. My name is Garland Thompson. I'm your host, and this has been powered by Zoomcatchers. I am the founder and CEO of Zoomcatchers, founded during the pandemic. Oh my God, who started this during the pandemic? Well, people like Kathleen, rather. People like Kathleen and people like myself. So, kind of crazy, I guess, but hey, why not take advantage of the time, right? So there it is. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you adieu. We'll be back pretty soon with our next installment. We're going to have a conversation with Jimmy Santiago Baca, award-winning author, filmmaker, poet, dear friend, and he's got some friends that he's going to be bringing along. So for the first time, we're going to have a couple of other folks here and behind the screen. So we're going to do a little bit more than a one-on-one. So hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We really look forward to seeing you next time. Share those links, shopvita.com, check out Interwoven, go check out Kathleen Cunningham Design, check her out, buy some scarves, and get mom a cool present and give her that cool IOU. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Have yourselves a great night, great day, great time, wherever you are. And remember, stay safe, stay sane, and always stay creative. Peace.